We're going to play a little round of I Know, I Think, I Doubt, Browns offseason edition. You guys know how this works. I give you a question. Your answer is either I know, I think, I doubt, and then we will discuss afterwards. And Tyvis, my friend, you are up first. The statement I give you here, Deshaun Watson will play like a top 8 quarterback in 2024. I know, I think, I doubt. What say you?
Top 8. It's interesting. Why'd you pick the cutoff?
Yeah, why did you pick 8?
Because I wanted to put Tyvis on the spot here.
That was good, putting 8. I like that.
I'm going to go with I think. I'm going to go with I think on this one. And the only reason I'm going to go with I think is because I got to see what the other moves the Browns make at this current moment. Like how the roster currently is constructed. Like I think he can have some success. Obviously, I know that they are capable of doing it. Joe Flacco did it. But right now, it's so many different pieces. You know, new offensive staff. I got to see how that work plays out, and then I got to see how he comes back from the shoulder injury, how he looks from that. I think that, you know, confidence-wise, I think he'll have his confidence back because he left on such a good note, knowing that he could still make plays and still win games and in crunch time get things done. I think he believes that he knows he got good playmakers now because Joe Flacco raised the play of all of these guys, so he knows that these guys are capable of making plays. My biggest thing is now that it's a new coach and staff in there as far as offensive minds, I got to see how they gel with Deshaun first, and that's why I'm at I think right now.
Jason, what is your reaction to Tyvis going with I think, not top 12, but top 8? I like that. It's an interesting dividing line. What would you go? Would you have gone with?
I would have probably put I doubt.
Of course you would.
Just because of the amount of terrific quarterback play in the NFL. Like, you don't have to think very hard to think of 8 really good quarterbacks.
Yes, you do.
No, you
Okay, I would go with I doubt also, and let me tell you why.
Mahomes, Burrow.
Well, you put him 16th yesterday.
Yeah,
so
here
that's
we go.
Twice as many.
Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, C.J. Stroud, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love. That might be 8 already.
That's 9.
That's already 9. And there's other guys that I would be surprised if he did better than.
He could beat
if
Jordan.
you had said
beat
12, I might have gotten to I think.
Yeah, he could beat Jordan Love. That still gets him to 9.
He could.
But I doubt.
No, I don't know.
If
If
I could was an option, or he could, I would.
Let me ask you this: if they went out and signed Mike Evans or T. Higgins, what would you say? Would that change you in any way?
It's funny that you asked that because either Earl or G asked the same type of question to me yesterday when we were having this conversation about Deshaun. And ultimately, the difference is that I thought when the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson that they had acquired one of the very few quarterbacks
that could raise the play.
And that you didn't have to have
That's how
a
it's supposed to
third
be.
That's how, yeah.
great pass catcher.
Joe
And
did.
he hasn't-
Joe Flacco did it with the same unit.
Now, he did it in a short sample size.
He did do it
and he threw a ton of interceptions.
He sure
but,
did. Yeah.
So would I like Deshaun Watson's prospects better if they added a top 25 wide receiver? Of course. I still would doubt that he's top 8.
8 is
Top 8.
You give me 10 or 12 and I might change my mind. But
in
8
2023, he was nowhere close to the top 8.
Right.
And if I got to say he's going to be top 8, that means I have to assume he's going to be healthy for the whole year. And if I assume he's going to be healthy for the whole year, then I got to assume Burrow's going to be healthy for the whole year. And all these other quarterbacks that got hurt this year, I have to go under the same assumption that they're all going to stay healthy. And if they do, the odds of him being top 8 based on his play the last 2 years is not high.
Jason, you're up next. I know, I think, I doubt. Myles Garrett will repeat as the 2024 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Do you think, do you know, or do you doubt?
I would like, but I doubt. In the 50-plus year history of NFL Defensive Player of the Year, only 3 guys have ever repeated. Lawrence Taylor, Aaron Donald, and J.J. Watt. Now, obviously, Donald and Watt, it's a little bit more recent, but there just isn't a very long track record of guys winning it in back-to-back years. It doesn't happen very often, and you know, a lot of people called it sort of a Lifetime Achievement Award for Myles this year. Well, guess what? I just name fell in my head. Dallas.
Oh, Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons hasn't won one yet, so maybe he's up next year.
It's so dumb that we think of it this way.
I know, but that's the way
it's
that they
wrong,
do.
but
But that's the way
yeah,
that
I
they
think
do.
it's truth. Yeah.
So, I mean, he could if he has another monster year. Like,
Yeah.
but he's got to have a better year than he had this year. Like, that's the thing. So now he's got to have better numbers across the board than what he had this year to even be, I think a serious candidate to win it next year, which is possible. But sorry guys, I doubt it.
You woke up negative. I doubt.
Well, I don't think that's negative at all. Myles Garrett could be great next year and still not win the Defensive Player of the Year.
In my text to Mike, I said, I doubt, I know I am the Grinch, because he calls me the Grinch at UCSS. So.
I have to agree with Jason. I'm on I doubt too, and it's not because Myles, as he said, he gave you the reasons. It's pretty simple. It's hard to win the award. There's a lot of great players. It's funny, the MVP has become a quarterback award, and the Defensive Player of the Year has basically become a pass rusher award. That's it. The other guys don't really get serious consideration. So it limits the number. There's only like 10, 15 guys really that could win the award probably. But the competition's so tough every year that if this year it was close with him and Micah Parsons and TJ Watt, I agree with Jason. If it's close between those guys again next year, it'll probably be Micah Parsons that'll win it because he hasn't won and the other guys have.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. That's typically how it works. I want to go on record and say I think.
Okay. Official, I think.
Official, I think from Tyvis. If he was confident, he would say I know. But it's an official, I think.
I don't bet it. I don't like
Bull,
to
you're
bet
up
against
next
people.
here.
I'm up next.
Bull's up. Bull, any Brown receiver not named Amari Cooper will finish the 2024 season with 900 more receiving yards. That is any pass catcher. Tight ends count. Do you know, do you think, or do you doubt?
I think I put I think.
I think I
Didn't
put
I?
I think.
Anthony will take the graphic when he's there. Yes,
There
you
it
said you
is.
think.
I think because, first of all,
Hey, we got a positive Bull.
this was pass catcher. Now, Mike wrote receiver in the question, but I asked him to clarify if he specifically meant just receivers. David Njoku was 18 yards shy of 900 this past year.
Yep.
Now, did he play his best with Joe Flacco? He did. But I would think after this breakout year, you assume the Browns will be healthier next year, that he has a good chance to get to 900 yards next year. And I also think the Browns will be aggressive in terms of trying to get a proven wide receiver. And if they got a Calvin Ridley or a T. Higgins, I can't imagine how the Bengals don't franchise T. Higgins. So I'm going to stop talking about him. But if they get a Calvin Ridley or a Marquise Brown or Mike Evans, certainly, those guys would have a shot. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is if you get a Calvin Ridley, say, or a Marquise Brown, that both Njoku and that guy would end up in the 800s.
50, yeah.
That's kind of what the caveat of
That's
900
possible,
was, yes.
But in the end, 900 is not crazy. You're not asking for 3 guys to get there. You're only asking for a second guy. I'm going to say that even though Jason and I just said Deshaun Watson's not going to be a top 8 quarterback, I certainly think he's going to be a lot better than he has been. So even if he's the 15th best quarterback in the league, it still means he'll throw for about 4,000 yards or high 3,000s, which means there'll be some more yards to go around, and I think somebody will get there. I think there's a good chance. It's not a definite, but I think
Will Deshaun have a better season than Baker this year?
I think he will, yes.
Okay.
Baker never has 2 good years in a row. He'll go back.
that might
Here's
be,
what happens.
I think that might be true, actually.
It is true. He was good for a rookie.
I think that.
I'm sorry.
I think that might
as
be
a rookie,
factual.
he was good for a rookie, but it wasn't. He was good in 2020.
There's no time like the present.
And he was he was bad 2 years in a row. So it's 2 good years with 2020 and 2023. So he's not had 2 good years in a row. I guess you could argue 19 and 20 wasn't bad as a rookie.
If he had 2 bad years, then should you counter that by having 2 good
maybe
years?
it's 2. We'll see. But I'm going to say Watson ends up the 15th best quarterback this year, and Baker is the 18th best quarterback.
That's definitive from Bull. Jason, you're back up on the clock.
Well, these guys didn't.
I think Mike's trying to move on.
Oh, no, you guys go.
What do you guys?
I agree.
You agree with I think?
Tyvis
on the 900?
Yeah, no, I think so too.
Yeah, okay.
I thought they agreed. That's my bad. I wasn't trying to rush you
all right.
guys. Jason, you're up with this one. I know, I think, I doubt. The Browns will have a top 3 pass defense in 2024. They were top 3 in 2023. Can they repeat, you say?
Come on, man. Of course I doubt.
Oh, my.
Here's why.
With you?
Here's why. Yeah, I'll tell you why. They were second this year.
Who
And
was first?
I don't know.
Kansas City?
And second based on what?
Just pass
Pass
yards per
defense,
game.
yeah.
Pass
I don't
yards
buy
per
that
game.
as a legitimate way to rank
Well,
them,
that's
but go
how
ahead.
Mike phrased
For this
it.
argument,
So
that's how we're
Oh,
going
it's
to
gonna
do it.
be it's gonna be tough because
First
they play
was
some.
actually the Panthers.
They play some crazy.
Carolina was number 1. The
quarterbacks
Browns
this
were
year.
number 2. The Jets were number 3.
Carolina couldn't stop the run this year.
But the reason why I chose I doubt for this, the Browns didn't really play a ton of elite quarterbacks who were healthy and productive. Here's the list of quarterbacks they got to play next year. Lamar twice, of course, Burrow twice, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Dak, Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Trevor Lawrence. Now, if all those guys are healthy, that's 10 of their 17 games against some pretty doggone good quarterback play. So for that reason, I mean, top 3, again, you could be really good and not fall in the top 3. This is like the top 8 conversation. You could be top 10 and not top 8. So for just the fact of the schedule that they have to play next year is going to be a pretty tough schedule, and the quarterbacks that they face are all really, really good, or a high number of them are really good. I'm going to say I doubt for top 3. They could still be very good and not be in the top 3.
And who knows, like the Broncos and Commanders will have new quarterbacks. So
that's right.
They might have, but you're right. I mean, again, guys could get hurt next year too, but on paper,
you have to assume health.
The 10th best quarterback, and we count Lamar and Burrow as 2 guys, essentially, because you're playing them twice. The 10th best guy you mentioned, I think, was Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, if that's the way you want to rank them. I just went in order of how they appeared on the schedule.
Right, but unless I'm
Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert, Dak, Tua, Jalen, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'd say he's
Tua or Trevor Lawrence. Take your pick.
What's that?
Tua or Lawrence, whoever you want to say.
We play San Fran next year.
Yeah, I mean, if Tua and Lawrence are essentially the 9th and 10th best quarterbacks you're playing good quarterbacks.
You're playing a lot of good quarterbacks next year.
So it's going to be hard.
3's
Plus,
a really high bar. You give me 8 for that one, I'll probably give you a yes.
Another thing is, if this were the 80s or even the 90s or where defenses kind of stayed together.
Yeah.
And I know the Browns aren't going to lose a lot of key pieces this year. But in the modern NFL, defenses fluctuate from year to year.
Yeah.
No matter, you could bring back a lot of the same players, coaches. It just happens that way. So I think the Browns will still be a good defense, but being top 3 is tough. I'm kind of, if I had to choose, I'd want to be in the border, in between. I doubt and I think, but that's why it's a tough thing. I'd have to go I doubt with Jason. You're going I think?
I'm going what I know.
Wow. Stand on some business, Tyvis.
Wow.
Okay.
Because I'm sick of the disrespect around
Oh,
here.
I'm sure that the chat is going bananas. How Jason and I hate the Browns. We're
I'm
negative
gonna say
all the time.
I'm gonna say I know because I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Denzel won't miss that many games next year.
How many did he miss?
What did he miss? 3?
He's good for 3
He misses
years.
3 every year.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he gonna miss
Maybe
just
he misses
one.
Maybe he misses the right 3.
He gonna miss just one
Against
game.
the scrubby, the few
No,
scrub teams you're playing.
I do think that they're gonna spend this offseason trying to figure out, how to be better defensively. I think they have a really good defensive scheme that everybody understands, but the problem is the quarterbacks for other teams, especially those veteran quarterbacks, they recognize what's coming. So I think this year they're going to be more so in disguises to try to confuse it. Mm-hmm. My only concern with the pass defense, because, the rush and the pass tie together, is I need to know who that other defensive end is going to be next year. That's a big key piece.
Well, we're getting to that.
If that guy is important, if it's a guy that's coming in that's productive, I think that ultimately helps the pass defense because our corners are really good, especially in the first 15 yards of a play. They're really good in first 15. Like if a route is more than 15 and it's not Denzel, I get kind of concerned. But anything outside of that, I think these guys are really good. So I'm going to say I know from that standpoint because I'm going on a leap of faith that defensive end that they get opposite of Myles will be productive.
All right.
All right, Tyvis, you're up next.
You should kind of ask my next one because that relates to what Tyvis just said. But
it does, but I think Tyvis can get a little spicy here. Tyvis, Nick Chubb will rush for 1,125 yards in 2024.
Wow.
I know, I think, I doubt.
My name is now Tyvis Lloyd because I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it for the simple fact, not because I doubt Nick Chubb. I doubt it because I don't think he'll play in 17 games. And then when he comes back, I think he's going to be on a pitch count, which is going to slow him down. I just don't think he's going to get to 1,100 yards in that next season. I think he could get to 900, 800 or something like that. But I think he'll be splitting carries, and it'll take him a while to fully get back. And that's going to mess up his numbers in the long run.
I don't know if they're going to run it enough to get him to 1,100, even if he is healthy.
What Deshaun say on that podcast? We gonna throw the ball. So we'll see.
6 years in the league, 3 times he's been over 1,100. You would think that's like automatic for him.
All right, let's think about it this way, guys. How many games? What's our best guess as to how many games Nick Chubb plays this year? 14?
I was going to say 13 to
13
14.
games.
13 to 14. You say 12?
Around something like that. 12. No, it's 17 games in the season.
So let's say 13. I mean, let's say this
Yeah,
is the
let's
first
say
month.
first month.
Okay. So how many carries do we think he's going to average per game?
In what game?
Okay, well,
Because like in the first
let's say
couple,
the first month.
15.
What's that?
15 per game.
I like
15
Yeah, that's
per
a good
game
number.
for the year. So 13 times 15 is 195 carries. Let's say in those carries he's as good as he was. Let's say average, which is what? Almost 6 yards a carry
Just
for
give
him?
him 6 yards a carry for the sake of argument.
I was going to say 5. But go ahead.
Let's split the difference, 5.5. So 195 times 5.5 is 1,072. What's the number?
1,100.
1125.
Wow. I'm gonna have to say I doubt. I mean,
He did all that just to say
I mean, he's gonna have probably around 200 carries to get there, and it's gonna be hard for him to get 200 carries. Now, if he might be the next Adrian Peterson. Because he's that kind of player.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
agree with
If you told me Nick Chubb was going to play 17 games, I'd say 100% he gets there. But I don't think he's going to play 17 games. But he's such a freak, I'm changing my mind. I think he's getting there. I'm flip-flopping. I think.
Stand on
'Cause I
business.
think
Say
he's
I
only gonna
know.
miss 1 or
Stand
2
on
games.
business. Say I know.
So what was
Say
the
I know.
number?
I don't want to
1125?
get that crazy.
1125?
1125.
So 15 games times 15 carries times 5 yards a carry is exactly 1125.
Yeah.
There's a reason these numbers are what they are.
Yeah,
for the
all right.
record. I'm not
Good
just
job.
pulling this out of my
So what are you saying?
booty.
I'm saying I think. That's what I'm
I'm the
going.
Grinch.
Okay, so you with
All right,
me.
there I doubt, and I might think. Go ahead, last one.
I pull you up for the last
I'll
one
wear
here.
that Grinch as a badge of honor.
There you go. You
Last
should.
one. A Brown not named Myles Garrett will finish the 2024 season with double-digit sacks.
You know where I stand.
You know where I stand too.
I
That ain't happening.
I said I doubt.
You did say I doubt.
And let me give you this stat, guys. In the last 3 seasons, there's obviously 32 teams, so that's essentially 96 teams over 3 years.
Yep.
Of the 96 NFL teams in the last 3 years, how many of those 96 have had 2 players with 10 or more sacks?
2.
14.
14 to
8.
All right, Jason was the closest. It's 10. So 10 out of 96, which is about 10%, okay? Now, I had to look at it even deeper. Most of those 10, of the 10 that had the 2 guys with double-digit sacks, 6 of those 10 had 2 guys that were like 10 and 11, 11 and a half, 10 and a half. I said, how many teams had a guy like Myles Garrett with 14 or more sacks and the second guy
Philly
with 10 or
comes to
more?
mind.
Philly
Well, Philly
last
is
year.
the-
4. Now, Philly had 4
I
guys,
Yeah,
say
Philly
Philly
had
was
crazy numbers.
ridiculous.
which was crazy. Besides Philly, there's only been 3 teams in the last 3 years that have had a guy with 14 or more sacks and a second guy with 10 or more.
Seattle.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was. I think
Niners?
San Fran did it
Yeah,
one year.
yeah.
I don't remember the other 2.
How
But
far
there's
did you go
been 4
back?
total.
How far did you go back?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years?
It was Philly. I think San Francisco. I think it was a surprise team. Like maybe
Titans.
Jacksonville this past year
Jacksonville, yeah.
had a guy.
Josh
what's his
Allen?
name?
Josh Allen had.
Josh Allen had like 15, 16. They had somebody else that had 10, I think.
I'll pull it up
So
right
the
now.
odds of having a guy like Myles get 14 or more and a second guy have 10 is very slim. Doesn't happen often. The
They
Browns
had-
have
yeah,
never done it, right? Clowney got 9.5.
Yeah, 9, yeah.
Trayvon Walker had 10 for the Jaguars.
Right.
Trayvon Walker had 10 sacks
Number
last
1 overall
season?
pick 2 years
I
ago.
don't think. Does anybody think the Browns have a player on their roster currently
Not
capable
right
of 10
now.
sacks besides
mean-
Myles?
Double O.
Could
Alex
J.O.K.
I was just gonna say
J.O.K.
I was thinking
How
that
many
through.
sacks did J.O.K.
That's
have?
what I was thinking of.
3.5.
But 10 to jump to 10.
I just think that it's there.
possible.
It's there
It's
with
possible.
him. If you
Well,
maybe pick a guy on the current roster right now to do it, it'd be JOK.
My question is, what position is he playing next year?
Wasn't he doing the same thing he did this
I
year?
have to do the exact
Was he
same
playing
thing.
outside or was he playing Mike?
He was playing outside.
He was
wasn't
outside, yeah.
So who's gonna play Mike?
Taki.
I assume they
Is
bring
he-
Taki back.
Okay, I'm just asking because if they moved him to Mike,
I think
So
it'd be a
ultimately,
mistake.
yeah, I agree.
Let
unless
him do exactly what he did this year. That's a
unless the
perfect role for him.
Browns trade for another top-notch pass rusher, I don't see it happening. And I doubt they will do that because I think the first priority is getting that extra really good receiver.